Welcome to the Zen Supermom podcast. The episode today is for you if you're struggling when the seasons are changing. Very soon the summer will be over, summer holidays, vacations will be over, and no matter how it went for you, if it was amazing and you had a blast, so now you'll be depressed and frustrated because it's like, I have to go back to my normal life. Or your holidays were a total I cannot say bad words, were a total disaster because you spent so much money and time preparing, organizing, and just making it perfect. And it was not perfect because something happened and No matter how your summer went, if you are already holding your breath and bracing yourself for what is to come now with the upcoming back to school season, back to work season, back to the normal life season, then this episode is for you. What I'm going to give you, rather than pretending I have it all figured out and I'm doing so great and you should follow my advice and this is my back to school routine and if it doesn't fit for you, you're a loser. Like, no. Rather than giving you the answers and pretending these answers will fit 100% of everybody who's listening right now, no matter what your situation is, I will rather give you 3 questions. Because these questions will help you realize what is true and what is needed for you, for your unique, specific situation, for each of your unique, specific, individual children, for your unique relationship, for your life right now, as it is this year. Okay? That's why I love coaching more than teaching. You have your own answers, and I'm just going to help you bring it all up. So if you're ready for that, then join me inside this episode. Hi, Supermom or Superdad. Alena here, your mommy tantrum specialist and the founder of the Zen Supermom system. And me and my team have helped hundreds of moms and dads start setting healthy boundaries with calm. And this is the first parenting podcast that is not about your kids, that shows you why none of the parenting techniques helped you stop yelling at your kids, and how to control your emotions from jumping out so that you can be the safe, loving parent you wish you had growing up. This is the Zen Supermom podcast. Hi, my name is Alena. I'm a mommy tantrum specialist because I used to have a lot of mommy tantrums. And I'm also a Zen Supermom founder because that's how me and my team inside the Zen Supermom and Zen Superdad program, that's how we help busy, loving, but yelling, emotionally numb parents stay calm, manage all of this overwhelm and madness that often comes with the joys of being parent, and help you not just survive it, but actually enjoy it and still feel like I'm still me, not just that tired, exhausted zombie mom. And this podcast is a big piece of it because that's where a lot of moms, and thank you everybody who has been sending all your feedback and questions and words of appreciation and gratitude. I appreciate you. I appreciate your courage for, first of all, being open to listen to what I have to say and being open to considering that it's not always about blaming other people, what they are doing wrong and why they are making you mad and blaming them for your anger. But you're actually willing to look inside and see how it is that you're either contributing to it or making it worse, or maybe even sometimes creating it, being at the beginning of it. So I have so much respect and empathy and compassion for you, and I'm so excited for you to be doing this inner work that is only for courageous souls. And we are going to continue today in this podcast episode. As I said at the introduction, even more than teaching and trauma healing and generational patterns healing, what I love even more is coaching. Because that will help you realize you already have all the answers inside of you. What is the most powerful thing about it is that it's all about what you allow those voices in your head to do with you? Do you allow them to mess you up, or do you want to take control and start asking some better questions? So that's why today I'm not going to be teaching and telling you what to do, but rather than that, I'm going to teach you some questions you can start asking yourself, and then maybe even your kids. How amazing would that be if you could start coaching your kids rather than teaching and preaching always and being like, oh, here she goes again on her rant, mommy. You could start coaching them and connect with them this way. How powerful would that be? Woo! So let's get into it. Our topic today is back to school. Back from holidays, back to the normal life. Because this is something that I see happening every year, after every season. The more joyful the season and the holidays and parties are, the bigger the crash usually people experience afterwards. And I see it like all the build up for Christmas, and then during Christmas, families, they spend so much time together because normally during the year everybody's at school, at work, they see each other only for dinners or breakfasts at best. So they have their own time to breathe and not trigger each other too much. But when they are together, and let me know if that's true for you and your family, whenever you spend too much time together in maybe smaller place than you're used to, either going on holidays or even being with your own family of origin, then it's much easier to get your emotions worked up and trigger each other, and then drama happens. Or even if that was not your case and you had amazing time, then the summer high will end up in a crash because it's September, back to school, days are getting shorter, weather is changing, it's not that sunny, shiny, happy anymore. You have to pull back your long pants and big shoes. You cannot be just flip-flopping in your cute little summer dress around. There is going to be a change. Are you ready for it? Or are you one of those people who are suffering when it becomes like gloomy, rainy, cold outside again, and you will go all the way back into your Grinch depression? So if that's you, let me give you a big hug, compassion, no judgment here, just like pulling out for whom this podcast episode, I'm doing it for you. That means it's good. We checked. You ticked off the boxes. That means this podcast episode is for you and you are going to get value for your time. Now, what are those questions that I want to ask you in order for you to have a different experience this time? What would become possible if everything was the same? The weather is going to get colder, more rainy and gray and kind of like Halloweenish. That's going to happen. Your kids might be getting more grumpy in the morning because you will have to wake them up earlier and they will not want to get up. It will be getting more difficult again. But what would be different? What would become possible if, given all of this, would be the same, but you would know how to handle it with more fill in the blank. What is it that you want more of? More calm, peace, space? You want to feel more happy, enjoy, no matter what, even if they are grumpy and the weather is gray? How do you want to feel? Okay? Because that's the result. This is your motivation. You need to be very clear on why. Do you even want to change it, or do you want to feel miserable? It's a choice. Again, no judgment, right? How do you want to feel? And those are not even those 3 key questions I want to ask you, but I'm already coaching you into prepping you for what is to come. You need to have strong motivation. Whenever you find yourself dragging your feet and this is so terrible. So do you want to do this or not? Do you want to feel better? And if so, how? Better, how? What do you want to have more of, if anything was possible? Okay, this is the setup. Let's keep that as the GPS destination in your mind. This is where you want to go. That's why it's worth for you to do this exercise with me. It's an exercise podcast episode. This is why it's worth doing. Yes? Okay. Ready? Let's go for it. Oh, already the first question is going to be a curveball. Get ready for it. Question number 1. How do you benefit from feeling down, from feeling frustrated, depressed, whatever, filling your blanks, whatever you're feeling usually in this transition period from summer holidays into back to school. How do you benefit from feeling down? And I know this is like such an outrageous question. How dare you think that I benefit? Like, aren't you hearing yourself? I'm not benefiting. I'm the victim here. I'm feeling depressed and low and everything, frustrated and tired, exhausted, and then kids. And like, I'm not benefiting. Like, I'm not feeling well. Can you not hear me? No, I hear you. And yet, how do you benefit? Why do you keep doing it? Because the answer is, you answer it for yourself. I'm just going to tell you what I'm usually hearing and what I know was true for me. I used to do that. I used to let other people, things, weather influence me because it was easier than taking some ownership and doing something about it. It was also my way of getting attention. Look at me, I have so much to do and I'm so like, poor me, and isn't that like, don't I deserve pat on the back how much I'm carrying, but you see how much I'm suffering? Because when I was doing it everything by myself and I was like overachieving and doing so much and I was still smiling, nobody even noticed and they expected it, and the next time they expected even more. And nobody cared that I was burning out and what price I was paying. They just thought, oh, she keeps smiling and doing more and more, so let's keep giving her more and more. So then I was like, no, I can't do more. Like, I am also suffering. I am also tired. I hate this period as well. So like, I need help too. Without actually saying that I needed help, because that was not in line with my hyperachiever alpha energy. Like, I can do it all by myself. I don't need any help. I'm independent, strong woman. I could not ask for help because of the trauma. But by being the victim and playing myself down and letting everybody know how terrible it was, I was like, that was my cry for help. Like, please, don't you see? Yeah. So maybe my story is completely different than yours. Maybe. How are you benefiting? How are you benefiting from letting this happen? Yeah, that's the first question. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. Because your brain cannot help it. Whatever question you ask it, it's going to give you the answer. So that's why this is also priming you. I'm also like brainwashing you in a good way to start paying more attention to what questions you ask for yourself. Instead of, why is it always happening to me? Why am I the one who needs to do everything? Why is it so hard? And why do we need to come back from holidays already now? Why can't you wake up from bed by yourself and smiling and happy so that I can be happy as a mom? Why can you not make it easier for me? Why do you need to make it so hard? Why is it like, why not? And blaming and shaming and victim. So rather than that, you will start asking yourself the question. You will have an honest look in the mirror and you will ask yourself, how am I benefiting? Because usually this is the easier way out. No matter how painful and heavy it is. Again, not minimizing it. I can feel your pain. I used to feel it too. But this feels easier to slide into this depression, frustration convo. It's easier than actually what we are going to do here, which are my next two questions about, which is about taking ownership and responsibility and actually doing something with it. Not doing something from your trauma point of view, not doing something from the, okay, so you want me to just do more, be more, and be the psychologist and therapist for all of my family and help them get happy, even though they're frustrated. No. Taking responsibility for you. That's all you need to do, just you. Because once you take care of you and your emotions and your reactions, your emotional state, then I can guarantee you will start seeing results and ripple effect all around you in all of the other relationships. Yeah, it's not your job to heal the whatever your husband, partner, wife are dealing with. Your responsibility is for your side of the reaction. of how you are personally contributing. Okay? So that's why this first question was so important. I'm not going to go on more rants. I will move on to the next question. Second question that you may want to ask yourself, if you want this season transition to be an easier, smoother, happier, joyful one, is what are my needs? What do I need to do for myself? How can I fill my own needs so that I can go through this transition in an easier, happier way? Okay? What is it that I can do for me? What do I need? Before you go on your people pleaser trauma coping mechanism from your childhood, from your mom, and you just repeating her generational patterns that are so deeply engraved in your nervous system, before you go and like an autopilot, go and do the same. Pause and ask yourself, what do I need? You put yourself first. Yes, you do. Because if you do not care of your needs first, how are you supposed to take care of anybody else's needs? This is really like the old cliche that they say to all moms, put your bloody oxygen mask first, because unless you are breathing and having enough oxygen, your kids are not going to get it. You will not be able to put in their oxygen masks because you'll be already passed out, burned out, exhausted, physically sick from all the exhaustion, from how you're serving and helping everybody else, not taking care of you. That's why you will start asking yourself this question. What do I need that I can give myself? Not again to blame people for not giving me what I need, not to blame the environment and weather and calendar, time of the year. No. What do I need that I could, if I tried enough, if I made this my priority, what is it that I could do for myself to make myself feel better? To make this season, this transition easier on myself? What is it that you could be doing? Yes? There will always be things that are out of your control. Always. As long as you focus on that, you're giving it your power away, then you're losing your energy just complaining and again being that victim, being in the that's where depression is and comes. Yeah, not doing that, refocusing. What is it that I can do actually? That makes perfect sense. How I can meet my own needs without triggering, if you have any childhood trauma of abandonment and feeling lonely, like, what? That sounds so sad and pathetic. I have to meet my own needs. Is that not why I'm in a relationship with other people? Is that not why I have had my kids, like, so that they make me feel loved and they make me feel happy? Nope. Sorry to break that to you. That's not what the relationships and other people are for. They are not there to make you feel better and happy. Nope. And if you've been running your relationships and life like this, maybe that's one of the things to look into, and maybe booking some generational trauma healing of abandonment wounds, yes, and loneliness and not feeling worthy of being loved, yes. You being able to give yourself what you need is actually a strength. Not from the hyperachiever, I can do it all by myself, but from a healed perspective, you filling your own cup, you knowing that you're worthy of love, you knowing that there's actually a lot you can do for yourself to make yourself feel better, is going to make you feel more in control and is going to give you more of that space that you feel you need. Right? Because so often things are so squeezed in and so fast and like, I don't even have space. I don't even know who I am anymore. And I don't have any space in my head because there's blah, blah, blah. I don't have any space like with my time on my calendar. Create that space. How can you start creating that space? Little mini steps. It's not going to be amazing and totally okay within 24 hours, but how can you start? Mini steps. What is the easiest thing that I can give myself so that I would feel better? Okay? That was the second question. taking control, taking ownership, taking your power back, because there is actually a lot you can do. Yes? Are you still with me? Still okay? Breathe. You're doing great. If you haven't left this podcast episode yet, that tells me you have a lot of courage and you have already done most likely a lot of work, inner work, and you're ready for this. So we are going to amp it up one level higher. This is the ninja level, okay? Get ready for it. The third question that's going to come, that's ninja level question. What's good about it? What's great about this transition that normally last year, all the time before, I would have been frustrated, depressed about, I would be super anxious, overwhelmed, stressed out, burning out. Actually, now that I start working on it consciously, what do I see is the gift in it? What's great about it this year? Yeah. Why is this question important? And any of my ninja warriors there who are listening, you already know. If you've been listening for a while, if you're on top, if you're already a Zen Supermom who worked with me and my team, you already know. Why is this question so important? Because all of our generational patterns, everything that people have conditioned us to think, and how they conditioned us to think, is always focused on what's wrong, right? Anybody here who experienced that? I realized that I was always looking for what's wrong so that I have to either fix it, or if I feel I cannot fix it, then I was complaining about it so that somebody else fixes it. It's always about looking for what's wrong, judging myself, judging other people and other situations so that I would make myself actually feeling better. Yeah. That's where your brain goes first. What's wrong? What we are doing here, part of your generational healing and reconditioning, rewiring the brain, is to turn the head and look at, actually, right, okay, these are things I don't like, fine. I've already spent enough time thinking about that. Now let me focus on what is the opportunity here. What is it that I can learn from it that will make it easier the next time? Maybe this time it's still going to be blah, but maybe there's something I can learn to make it better for the future. What is the strength that I'm gaining by going through these tough times? Maybe there's objectively I cannot do anything about it. Maybe your life situation right now is so uniquely heavy and it's just like a season you're going through that's extremely difficult for you. Well, then what is the power? What is the power that I'm getting from it? What is it that I'm learning today that will actually make the pain worth in the long run? By either making me stronger, more aware, more empathetic, proving to myself how strong I am because I went through so much heaviness. What is it? Yeah. What is the knowledge that I'm gaining? What is the power, the muscles that I'm building through this? And what is it that is still a gift? That if this was not happening, there would be no gift. Yeah. And usually it's easier to see it when you look back in the past. What are some of the most difficult life situations you went through that you were able to get something great from it? And it actually enabled you to be where you are today. And I shared several examples throughout so many podcast episodes here. Was it about the relationships that what I thought used to be the biggest breakups and heartbreaks of my life. I'm so grateful they happened because they taught me a lot about myself and how I show up in relationships. And they opened up the space for the new stuff, right? I wouldn't be with my husband today. I wouldn't be living where I am living and having the family I have if I was stuck still with that first boyfriend who was not a good fit for me. Right? But it was a huge heartbreak, huh? So from that perspective, realizing maybe that's what's happening now. You're going through tough times and be it just okay, back to school. Not so dramatic, but yeah. Maybe there's something more heavier. Realizing right now you're in the middle of it. How do you want to feel about it 10, 20 years from now? So that when you're looking back to the moment today, what is it that you want to get out of it that's going to be worth it? Yeah. So that when you look 10, 20 years from now, you'll be like, yep, it was tough, but this is why it was necessary, and this is what I learned, and that's why it was so freaking worth it. Every painful thought, every tear I shed, it was actually, I wouldn't change it. I loved it. What is the gift or opportunity in your current situation? That's my third question for you. Yeah. So let me sum it up. 3 questions. My intention was actually pull you out of the victim. That was question number 1. How are you benefiting from being a victim, basically? So that we clearly lift the veil and see what's happening. Lift you out of the victim. Second question was giving you your power back. What is it that I need to give myself to get better? And third question was pulling you up to the light and having the bigger picture. Because so often when we feel frustrated and depressed, and it feels like it's going to be here forever. This is not just back to school season and gloomy September, October that's coming up, but it feels like it's going to be here for years. Once you take the elevator, the helicopter up, and you look at your overall life, 10 years ago, 10 years from now, you will see this as a blip, as a little sliver. And how amazing would it be if this little sliver here of a timeline could become a springboard that makes you jump up and feel better, and that will make sense. That you will not be the victim, you will actually be the winner. So there's something you can build up for yourself here. It's an opportunity that's waiting for you, only if you're ready to see it. How amazing would that be? Yep. So, my dear supermom or super dad, this was your little, how would I call it? Self-coaching one-on-one. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. The moment you start being aware of what those voices are saying in your head, where your focus is going, and you start being more careful about the language you're using when you talk to yourself in your head, or also when you talk to other people, you will realize how much the language matters and how powerful it is to start focusing on these shifts. So, my intention was, through this podcast episode, to help you realize you can become your own coach and to realize the power of that, of asking better questions. So may that be your inspiration, not just for this specific situation we talked about today, which was, going back to school, holidays are over, get over that, summer is gone. How can we have fun anyways? But also for you to see and start asking more powerful, empowering questions going forward. And start doing that as a consistent practice for you and maybe even for your children going forward. How amazing would that be if you could help them with their voices and with their moods? How easier would that make it for you then as a mom? If your kids could start asking themselves those coaching questions, empowering questions, and started focusing on what is the path forward and how do I still have some control over it? What is it that I can do to make my situation better? This is the way. And I appreciate you for being open to walking that path and for taking those steps with me. I am humbled by you choosing me to be your guide, even if it was just this short little podcast episode. I appreciate it. And I see you, even though I'm looking at empty black dots on my computer right now, but I can feel your energy. I can feel you and I appreciate you. So thank you. And let me know. I love getting these messages from your feedback and how it's what aha moments you're getting and how even this free podcast is helping you on your path. I love reading from you, so keep it coming. Thank you. And I will see you the next time. Have a happy back to school. Why can't you stop yelling at your kids? And no, it's not the stress, lack of sleep, kids not listening, fighting, hitting, no support, time pressure, ADHD, hormones. No, moms around the world are doing it regardless. How? Join us for the upcoming Mommy Tantrum training and find out too.